Hello and good morning. Welcome to Ice Cream Uploads here at 10 a.m. for Friday the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, mate.
Oh, thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Love you, man.
Love you, man. This is the video games podcast, the number one video games podcast that is in the UK. It's self-proclaimed, but all the people in the chat would agree that this is the UK's number one premium video game podcast.
I mean, yeah, obviously. I mean, we're not biased in the slightest. This is factual. We've done our research. Took quite a lot of researching, actually. A lot of bar charts, a lot of equations. We worked it out, didn't we?
Absolutely. Now, today, I apologise for us coming live late. It is 110% down to me. We had something not long ago called Beergate, and basically I knocked off a loading bar beer off this desk onto the floor, exploded everywhere, went all over the TVs, all over the carpet, all over the consoles, my laptop and this desk. And I don't know if any of you are aware, but this is our flagship show. It goes live again every single day at 10 a.m. across all podcast services, including Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play, as well as video on demand broadcasts, Twitch and YouTube later on in the day. But enough about all that for self-promotion stuff. This is the flagship show. And then we have Josie coming on Tuesday and Wednesday. She streams games for us. She streams whatever game she feels like completing at the time. So that's Tuesday and Wednesdays. So what you see now is the set. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, we do an alternative set. So Graham streams from home, where he signals the bib in, so you only see a very small part of the studio. But the studio gets moved to the side. So we've got two different types of studio. We've got the big broadcast now, which we are present in, and then we have one where we can play video games, which means moving the studio around and bringing the TVs over. I went to change the studio background today and knocked one of the TVs into the cans. Another can exploded all over the studio. I stink a bit. The room stinks a bit. I mean, this could be a very good cover story for me getting pissed.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's actually the lengths he's gone to. I mean, I saw him stagger into this room, but no, apparently the beer sort of threw itself in, you know.
I mean, the air freshener that we got isn't the best either. It's the same one that we use in the toilet, which...
it feels like we're just streaming in a toilet now.
Yeah, well, when you spray it, it smells really nice, but then when someone's had a shit and you walk in after them and it smells like latte coffee and somebody's shit, it just doesn't smell that nice anymore. So the room's full of like chemicals and whatever else. But I mean, we've got a clean desk again. I've got a clean laptop. The screens are clean.
To be fair, it's the cleanest I've seen this desk in a little while. So actually, you know, it's good really.
So again, I apologise for this going late today. It's entirely on me. But enough about that. We have one other big show happening today. Are you aware of what the other show is?
I am. I mean, I'm not aware. I presume that means that we can talk about it. I don't know how secretive these things are. But yes, it's the invitational stuff, isn't it?
It most certainly is. I was very worried for a second and thinking, is this something that I don't know that you think that I know, but you're going to say it now? But no, yeah, it is the Ice Cream Uploads Invitational live group draws, which will be happening this afternoon with myself and Graham from the brandly new built Ice Cream Uploads Invitational Studio, which, funnily enough, isn't this one. We'll be going live to a different studio at some point. We will be taking all of the teams that we have announced so far, and those eagle-eyed people will understand that there is one team that potentially, well, they aren't in the competition yet, but you will find out who that is later on during the draw.
Exciting.
I mean, it doesn't get much more exciting than that. Number one Pirates in the chat. Good morning, mate. The chat PC. I completely missed the chat this morning, so I don't know who's been talking. It's just Pirate. It's hosting us. Thank you very much. Bibi and Fake Graham. Some might say a better looking Graham.
Oh, well, some might. I mean, those people probably don't have very good eyesight, but thank you anyway.
He also says, to be fair, I love the story and it sounds fake, but what do I know? There is one more team. Does the studio smell like lager to you? No, it smells like pale ale, which I am not a massive fan of. But I managed to avoid it going all over my white t-shirt, which is a great start. Yeah, it smells like pale ale, mate. I'm not a fan.
I see. To be fair, because I walked in after the incident. You know, he'd finished cleaning up by this point. I think so. I'm not. I can't detect the smells.
I think it's because it's on me and I can smell it. Yeah. Like it's on my shirt here, which obviously I don't bring spare clothes with me because I don't expect to be Stone Cold Steve Austin smashing the cans together. I'll save the action in case someone clips it. Anything out of context. But we have got a jam-packed show for you today, as well as obviously the stream this afternoon. The time for the stream has yet to be announced. It is going to be in the afternoon. I'm hoping around 2 o'clock. It will only be about half an hour long because we're just doing a group draw. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be that extensive of a draw. We've got 8 teams to draw out, and then you know what our bracket looks like. You go into a semi-final and final. It's not that difficult. Gaz says Bibby 316. To be fair, I walked in after the incident with a can in his hand, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
But if anything, it just means that Loading Bar are going to have to send us more pale ale, which unfortunately will no longer put at the front of the desk purely because I'm a fucking idiot.
I've still not actually tried it because every time we get a load, Bibby smashes the cans together in a Hulk rage.
Yeah. Well, we've got a bag of them down there and we've got more over there, but yeah, it wasn't a good look. I've literally got the carpet cleaner out. It was a whole thing.
It was a bit of a fail. Ale? No, it doesn't work.
A fail ale.
Anyway.
That's work. Fatman Dave says that's the bottom line because Bibby said so. Exactly. Anyway, again, as we've mentioned, this is a video games podcast and you're here for one reason only. It's not to see us on Valentine's Day. It's to hear about today's latest and greatest news. So let's get into the first article as I attempt to bring it up on screen. Let's see if I can fuck this up. And I haven't. Fantastic. Nice. This is on The Verge, as written by Sam Byford. Byford?
Surely.
Yeah, it's got to be on it.
Got to be.
Sam Byford. Just keep shouting his name now. Sony reported battling to keep the PlayStation 5 price down. The new PSVR headset is set to follow in the next-gen console. Sony is struggling to land on a price for its upcoming PlayStation 5 console, according to a new report by Bloomberg. With component shortages potentially pushing the MSRP beyond that of the PS4, the bill of materials is said to be around $450 right now, compared to its IHS market estimate of $381 for the PS4, which sold for $399 upon release in 2013. Here we go. I've already started with the acid reflex after I started talking. It's coming early today. Sony has already confirmed that the PS5 will be built around solid-state flash storage, which is notoriously expensive and susceptible to supply chain fluctuations. The amount of storage the company is planning to include on the PS5 will have a major impact on the price of the overall device. Coupled that with the next-generation AMD GPU with hardware support for ray tracing and presumably a lot of RAM, it wouldn't be surprising to see the PS5 come in at a higher launch price than its predecessor. The Bloomberg report also says that Sony is working on a new PlayStation VR virtual reality headset, which is said to be planned for release on the PS5. Okay. So, as much as the title suggests that they're battling to keep it down, it's not. They're battling within themselves. Yeah, they're battling within themselves due to price parts elsewhere. By the sounds of it.
Yeah, it does sound like it. I mean, it's always the issue when next gen comes along, and obviously they're trying to get the best sort of stuff possible to go into their consoles, but that best stuff comes at a price.
Absolutely,
so,
a premium price at that.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously we all want the next gen consoles to be as cheap as possible, but I suppose when you factor in hopefully how long you're going to have that console for, I mean, anyway, up to like 10 years, isn't it, with the lifespan of a console?
Yeah. Well, the lifespan of a hard drive seems to decrease the speed of your PC over time anyway. So like my PS4 now, it chugs at the home menu. Like getting into the games and stuff like that is completely fine, but navigating the home menu itself just seems like an absolute chore now.
Sure.
I don't know whether or not that's because the mechanical parts are starting to fail on the inside. It just needs a brand new hard drive, because I've still got the basic hard drive from what I got with the PlayStation on launch day last time.
Right, yeah.
I haven't changed it. I haven't swapped it out for any other ones. But it's become a bit of a... It's chugging now. Okay. But having an SSD, well, that will surely have the same impact again. Over time, it's going to slow down.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, if it's to do with sort of moving parts, then no. But if it's to do with something else, I don't really understand sort of how these things work. To be fair, I feel like mine's still alright. I've had mine since pretty much launch. But then maybe it's just been so gradual that I don't actually know how one's supposed to sort of be now.
Well, the mechanical parts that you just mentioned then is a very good point. Obviously, the normal hard drives do have like a ticker on the inside of it that moves the data. I don't think that's the case with an SSD.
I think that's
the
thing about it. Yeah, I think it's just like, literally like a solid state.
I don't know. It doesn't move, but I don't know whether or not it's because of the operating software. Like, just on a little bit of a tangent, did you hear the news about Apple this week that they've been fined massively because they are putting bloatware on, not bloatware. Basically, the updates are slowing older devices down. So they're putting the brand new updates into older phones to slow them down. So eventually you'll think, this is shit, I want a new phone.
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think Sony could purposely do that, but I do think that over time everything will start to chug because it's a lot of moving parts inside the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So if everything becomes solid state, it obviously that won't be the case. What is the likelihood of it needing repairs or changing parts going forward? Because there's a lot of people now who have taken their PlayStation apart to put thermal paste on the CPU. To stop it sounding like a jet engine, because after a while, everyone's experienced. Anybody who has a PlayStation will know that you put certain games on, especially PES. I don't know what the hell goes on with that game. Any PES, pick one over any of the PlayStation 4 lifespan. As soon as you put it in, it sounds like your PlayStation's taking off.
Yeah, exactly. We had one in the office, didn't we? It was particularly bad. PS4, that is. And it was, it you couldn't like really switch it on without and then expect a conversation at the same time.
Someone's on a conference call and just hear it taking off. It just shook the whole thing. But yeah, me and Graham both had a discussion about 2 or 3 months ago at how much we think that the console's going to come in at. Okay. I said 379. He said 479.
Ooh.
So there's £100 is quite a lot of money, but not for the parts that you're paying within this. But it looks like they're obviously trying to bring the price down as much as they can without showing their hand to Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly.
They whether or not they want to make a profit on this console, I have absolutely no idea. I don't know whether or not they expect to get more money from the software and the third part and the controllers and peripherals and things like that down the line to try and make the price up. I have no idea.
Well, do we? Again, I suppose that question comes down to: do we know the launch lineup and how many sort of like first party sort of Sony games?
Well, we've got Godfall so far.
Yeah.
Godfell, whatever. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Godfall or Godfell.
Do we have I'm sort of late to the party, I think, on this, but with Last of Us 2, do we have a release date? I can't remember what, like,
it's
how
going
soon
out on
it's
PS4.
coming. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, so I don't know, in other words. Like, I don't know how they're going to get the money back if they anytime soon, but I suppose it's over a long period of time, isn't it? So
yeah. Well, they absolutely smashed this as a... If it was a competition, they lost a long time ago, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In regards to the Microsoft and PlayStation parts, so whether or not, I think it's 100. I think the last count was 110 million units sold,
right,
which I think is above and beyond their expectations, considering what happened with the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So whether or not they think we're already winning the war now, let's just get these out at a decent price for everyone. If it's £400, then I don't know whether I'd expect a game to be bundled in with it.
No.
If it was $450, then I would expect a game to be bundled in with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people in the chat. Gaz is saying if the PS5 comes in at under £400, I will be shocked. Again, I don't know. It depends how far they think they have, how much market share they think they have going into the PlayStation 5. Because we've just mentioned it about the PlayStation 4 winning the battle now. Oh, sorry, the winning the war as it stands. Whether or not that will seem to be the case when the PS5 comes out, with the fact that Microsoft are doing so well in their services rather than the consoles being sold, so people are taking up more subscriptions to the likes of Games Pass. With xCloud coming out, will that see an increase in people creating accounts for Microsoft and then potentially thinking, actually, this is really good on mobile, do I want to get an Xbox for home as well to be able to play it there? I don't know. There's a lot of different circumstances coming into play with this. If PlayStation is smart, I do think £400 would be their best bet to get it. Just get the console out, make it cheap enough for people to want to go out and buy the console first and foremost, and then think, actually, I thought it was going to be £500. I'm going to go and buy 2 games on launch day rather than 1.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, this article seems to think that it's going to be more expensive than the PS4, and it's saying the PS4 sold at $399 upon release.
Yeah. Well, I don't think SSDs were as common as they are now in building new PCs and things like that.
Sure.
So the price back then would have been extortionate, which is probably a good shout as to why they didn't put it in the console the first time round. They didn't. The PS4 Pro that came out didn't have an SSD in, did it?
No.
I'm fairly certain it didn't. It was just a normal hard drive again.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's not as if they've tested this out before they're bringing out a new console.
True.
So if they was to just reading back at the article again, it says unless Sony is willing to sell a PS5 at a loss, a 450 build cost would make more than the new console significant. Oh, fuck me. Unless Sony is willing to sell the PS5 at a loss, a $450 build cost would make the new console significantly more expensive than Sony's current $399 PS4 Pro, which is often discounted as low as $299. So,
if it came out at $450 relative to $399 PS4 Pro, I think that that price difference is hardly anything. I would expect it to be a lot more. I think it's as much saying that the PS4 Pro is still overpriced.
Yeah.
Although, even though they are saying in reality it sells for less, but.
Yeah, well, if I don't even know if you was to go and buy a PS4 Pro now, I don't think it's $400. No. I think that's way and beyond.
Surely that's like, I mean, I know that you have the recommended retail price, and then in reality retailers try and undercut it, but that still seems high for a recommended retail price. But.
Yeah, because if there was to bring out a PS5. The $51 more.
Yeah, you're not going to get a PS4 Pro, are you? It's
exactly
stupid.
It's very, very odd. But yeah, I do think if they wanted to try and take the market share day one, I think £400 would probably be their price point. They would definitely 110% be losing money.
Yeah.
As soon as it come out the door. But with their market share now, as it stands, I think they would have to be that aggressive to be able to get out the door with their console.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I'll have to see what Xbox moves it. I suppose this is a good sort of empty statement to an extent from Sony in the way that it's good publicity without really saying anything. I mean, anyone can try and say oh, we're gonna try our best to keep the price down, guys. We're working hard, but then still release something that everyone will say is overpriced or whatever. And you can say, well, we tried,
Well, if all else fails, it's made a fantastic thumbnail today,
exactly.
Which I've clickbait the shit out of again. So yeah, we'll include stuff like this just to be able to have a nice little title. Looking back through the chat again, Dare to D-Max says, happy Valentine's Day, boys. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Mr. UK MVP. Thank you for the host as well. I very much appreciate that. Pirate says, whoa, happy Valentine's Day to the UK MVP. There we go. Don't get much bigger than that. Morning Ads Plays, hello. Good morning to all the guys that are just joining us in the chat now. You haven't missed a great deal so far. It was more of a talking point with Sony reporting the battling to keep down the PlayStation 5 price when it comes out. Speaking of things that are coming out, see that? That's a nice little bib way there.
Oh, hang on. What's this? Bulletstorm dev shares first gameplay details of co-op sci-fi looter shooter Outriders.
That is exactly right. That's a very long headline, isn't it? But yeah. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. This is from Eurogamer and it is written by Matt Wales. So, earlier this week, Bulletstorm developer People Can Fly unveiled a brand new trailer for its cooperative sci-fi looter-shooter Outriders, and now, as promised, it shared a choice selection of gameplay details and videos as part of a half-hour-long livestream reveal. On a fundamental level, it perhaps wasn't the most revelatory of unveilings for Outriders, with little shown to truly distinguish it from its peers. It's a dark third-person cover-based shooter set in a brutal, nightmarish world that tricks all the usual light RPG boxes as far as classes, skill, trees, customization, and rarity-based loot acquisition goes. That doesn't mean it's a bust, though. It looks to have an interesting premise. I can never really say that. Premise. A striking, surprisingly diverse planet to explore, and of course, People Can Fly's undeniable expertise when it comes to gunplay. So, breaking all that down, Outriders tells the story of a group of mercenaries tasked with exploring Enoch, a lush, untouched planet chosen to be the site of a new human colonization effort. Shortly after landing, however, the group encounters a mysterious signal and, in attempting to trace its source, runs into a devastating storm known as the Anomaly. To escape its effects, the Outriders retreat into cryosleep, awakening 30 years later to an almost unrecognisable world. War has broken out. Flora and fauna has hyper-evolved to deadly degrees, and the Outriders' whole DNA has been rebuilt, turning them into super-powered humans known as the Altered. What follows is a continued quest to locate the source of the still detectable signals, even. One that sees players, either solo or in co-op teams of up to 3, journeying across Enoch to the edge of civilization and beyond. From the technology bereft war zone that opens the game, players explored the world as part of a convoy, shifting from hub area to hub area. The developer stresses it's not an open world game, stepping out across diverse biomes from shanty towns and desolate cities to autumnal swamps and lush jungles, even deserts and mountains. Hubs such as Rift Town, seen in the live stream, usually serve as small pockets of civilization, giving players the chance to slow down, explore, and start unravelling Enoch's mysteries. They provide an opportunity to embark on side quests and help NPCs with their stories, to buy unique new gear, loot, and mods, or sell them for scrap, to repair equipment, even sit around the campfire and share tales about Earth. And when you want to move on, a whole new area adjacent to that hub will open, which becomes permanently unlocked for future fast travel. And I think, it does go on talking about sort of the actual game.
Yeah, it's a meaty one, isn't it?
It is a bit of a neat one.
The reason I've shown this is because I wanted to show the trailer to people who was in the chat, as well as obviously have a small discussion about it. Obviously, you was reading that, so you didn't get to see much of it.
No.
Have a look at this. How familiar are you with these kind of games? And if you would be be so kind as to tell me what kind of game you think this looks like. Because there's 3 games that stand out so far to me with what this looks like.
I mean, it's a little bit Mass Effect-y in the shooting aspect.
That's one of them.
A little bit Anthem-y, maybe? I don't know. No, actually, no. It does remind me of certain other games, but I can't quite think what the others are.
Yeah.
It's like sci-fi shooters, yeah.
So there's like quite a merge of games here. So it looks a bit like Mass Effect. I don't know whether or not you ever heard or played a game called Defiance.
No.
The Defiance has been out for about 8 years, maybe even longer. It came out on the Xbox 360 and PC, and it's since been remastered and ported over to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and also on the PC too. Looks like that. It also kind of looks like The Division and Destiny all shoved into one. The only thing and it looks great. Gears of War, another game, and also D-Max's Destiny and Division. It looks great. The only thing that annoys me about this now is the fact that it's not open world, because it has all the characteristics of a fantastic open world game. You can see the RPG system in there, so you're able to customize everything, get loot, be able to expand on your armor and things like that. Why this game wasn't made into an open world game is beyond me. However, that said, it looks like a BB game. It looks like a game that you could definitely sink about 80 to 90 hours into.
I suppose I kind of agree in the sense I like a good open world game, and that does suit it. But if I were going to try and make a counter argument, I'd probably say that quite a lot of games nowadays are going that way, and maybe they're trying to differentiate themselves from it again. Because I think sort of linear RPGs are becoming a bit rarer and rarer.
But the problem with this, though, it looks like it's an extensive RPG type of thing. So you are getting money, you are getting armor. If it was going to be corridor shooters, shall we call them, so you can only go one way, hopefully there's different aspects of the story that you can branch off into, so you can complete it multiple times. Because you do not want to be replaying the same story over and over again just to be able to say that you got a level 100 best weapons and things like that.
And it's good to be able to do those kind of games in a certain like any order, or at least have some flexibility in the order that you do things, because you can see what works best in terms of, if I go here first and get this equipment for this bit, and then etc, like work it out that way, strategize it.
Exactly. So it has got a lot going for it, and it does look great. We'll see, but you see, if I was to have this trailer without a name being put next to it, with the character models it is, I honestly thought this is what Godfall would look like, but without the guns. From the very short teaser that we got, I thought it was going to be like a Destiny Division 2 kind of world scenario, but with obviously a hack and slash element to it rather than a cover shooter game. But it does look good, and not taking that away from it.
Ads Plays disagrees with you. He says, "Looks shit to me."
Okay. Ian says, "Yeah, it looks like Gears of War Division hybrid." Yeah, I mean, if you aren't a fan of these kind of games, I imagine it probably would look shit. But as a fan of these kind of games, I'm just
that's the joy of video games. Having a diverse sort of taste.
What did you say to me before the show went? In fact, don't. We'll talk about it when it's in the news story.
It's one of the news stories.
Yeah.
For me, by the way, this game, like, I think I could. I love Mass Effect and those kind of things. So obviously, is a particularly RPG-ish sort of shooter. It's RPG before it's a shooter, really, isn't it? So I really enjoyed those. I suppose looking at that, it looks good in terms of like the quality seems to be good early on in terms of the signs. I don't know if it's jumping out at me as offering anything too unique, which is kind of like what we were saying, really, isn't it? The fact it does look like so many other games. Yeah. So I suppose
it's a safe option, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a safe option. I think it's a good way of putting it. It's probably going to be like get a 70 on Metacritic or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'll be like a safe bet.
That's a good shout. I mean, that's maybe something that we can do on here going forward. When we see games like this, we think, what score is it going to get on Metacritic? Because that'd be very good. It'll test our knowledge and our understanding of the market that we actually work in anyway.
True.
So that might be something that we can have a shout at going forward. But yeah, it's going to be... I think this kind of game would be better suited to be playing with your friends rather than a single player experience.
Sure, yeah.
Because that will give you the replayability, especially if there's a narrative tree to be able to go down different places. And okay, you've done one side of the story, let's take route 2 and take that side of the story. And then if Graham was playing, we'd take route 3 and then hit that part of the story, because that's the one that we haven't done.
Yeah. If there's an element of randomness to the looting and that as well, which
it ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more random that way as well.
But yes, that is Outriders. It did give an idea of when this game was coming out towards the bottom. Holiday 2020, and it will be released on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5 and PC. Interesting that there's no Switch there, but I imagine it's far too powerful to be able to go to...
It's interesting that we're in that era now, though, where obviously they list both of the both gen consoles sort of thing.
Well, that's interesting actually, because they're going to bring out 2 SKUs. They've been working on 2 SKUs the entire time. Well, 2 generations.
Okay.
So PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X. Very interesting. Defiance was a TV tie, and the game lasted longer than the TV series. Yes, I didn't actually watch Defiance, the TV series. I do understand that the game didn't follow any part of the narrative that the TV series went on, but I did put a shit ton of hours into Defiance on the Xbox, and then when I got a gaming PC, I started smashing it on that as well. It's a brilliant game. It's free to play now. It didn't used to be, but if you have got a PC and you fancy one of these kind of games, it's an MMO shooter game. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth picking up. Big Zombie Monkey, good morning, mate. Hello. What an improvement on Graham.
I always did like you, Big Zombie Monkey.
That's not. A shite rider said that. Lazar, thank you very much for the host playing is believing even on Valentine's Day. Very much appreciate that, Lazar. Good morning to you, sir. We're doing well today, aren't we? We're flying through these bad boys. Let's get a front view of the old studio. I love that view. I just love the studio. It just looks
classic,
great.
Classic studio.
Classic studio broadcast. So we've got 3 more articles for you. One of them is a chunky one, which will lead to the end. It's something that we have just mentioned beforehand. But this one, you can make your own mind up about. I think it's going to be quite a hot topic, considering what they have just been bringing, what they've just brought out, shall we say. We'll move into the article. Eurogamer is the source and Emma Kent is the writer. Disney invites game devs to create it with its IP following the success of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I am still ploughing through. Last year, Disney's share of the US film market managed to reach around 35% thanks to its merger with Fox. So I guess it's just as well the company is open to having game developers reimagine its franchises. That is a lot of IP. I apologise. It's just started to go. You can tell in my voice when I'm just about to start. It's like a hiccup.
It is like a hiccup, really, isn't it?
It's weird. Speaking at this year's 2020 Dice Summit, Disney exec Sean Shoptaw.
Sounds like some sort of a superhero that works in a shop. I'm Shoptaw.
It does actually sound like a Disney villain in like The Incredibles or something. Said the company wants to empower game developers to do really unique things with its catalogue via The Hollywood Reporter, which got its debut on the show yesterday. We want to tap into the power of creatives across the industry. According to Shoptaw, two recent examples of this was Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Over.
Fallen Over.
Fucking hell. Respawn's Jedi Star Wars
I want to play
Fallen
Jedi
Over.
Fallen Over. That sounds great.
Along with Marvel's. Oh god, I'm so glad it's Friday. I think I'm pissed from all these fumes from the day. Along with Marvel's Spider-Man and Insomniac games, both saw significant sales, with Fallen Over beating EA's own expectations and Spider-Man becoming the fastest-selling PS4 game of 2018. But Shopto emphasises the importance of original storytelling and reimagining Disney settings. Disney currently have a number of long-standing partnerships with major developers, including Square Enix's Kingdom Hearts, and EA for the Star Wars franchise. It's worth noting the latter deal isn't completely exclusive. Star Wars titles by other developers such as Oculus and Warner Brothers have been... Why they put a full stop there?
It's just like Bros is like supposed to be short for
right,
yeah,
okay.
It's confusing.
I brought my voice right up. And then yeah, whatever. Have been given the go-ahead over the last few years, along with mobile titles, franchise tie-ins with games like Fortnite. With regards to Star Wars, I'd imagine the call to get creative is much about smaller spin-offs as the mainline games in EA. Given Disney specifically cited it as an example, I can't also help but compare this emphasis on creativity and uniqueness to accounts of what it would be like to work on Jedi Fallen Order. During last year's E3, I spoke to lead combat designer Jason DeHerres about the creative process, and it sounded rather different. We have to work with Lucasfilm on everything. We have to approve everything and have to collaborate with them, so it's give and take, he told me. Sometimes we want to do something that's more gameplay driven or out of the box, but then we have to sit with them and find middle ground. Same with everything: combat, exploration, story, all the departments we have to collaborate. We're trying to make an authentic game, so we're trying to stay on that level. Authentic's the word. Perhaps the uniqueness is not allowed so far. Alright, so they're giving out a roll call to all developers to be able to get creative with the IPs that they own. That is a massive war cry of developers trying to get hold of. Like, we've just had Star Wars come out, and we've had Spider-Man come out, obviously, over the last 2 years or so. These are massive AAA titles that people want to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the chances that a very small indie company is going to be able to pick up a massive IP and do this? Is it kind of when you have a premium football player, there's only so many clubs that can try and take that player.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If they have IPs that are stupidly big, surely this is only a war cry for the big players to be able to come in and work with Disney to be able to try and create these games.
Potentially. That would seem to be the logic to me, not knowing so much about the industry, in exactly how it works in that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, then again, like talking about, say, Marvel and superheroes in general, I mean, you get a lot of smaller games-ish.
Yeah.
Like, at least middle of the line sort of like studios working on those kind of things. So
then does that become a budget title then, rather than AAA one?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, is it something that's just exclusive to? I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, just by the nature of them having like those characters in it, then it becomes like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just automatic that once you start getting these sort of big characters in or big IPs, then it's like you're boosting your reach significantly, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the two examples that they're given there was Star Wars being developed, Fallen Order being developed by Respawn, and then obviously Insomniac Games developing Spider-Man. Two massive IPs by two massive companies.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood that Naughty Dog will never be able to touch something like that anyway, purely because of their their Infinity to the likes of The Last of Us and things like that. What other company is going to want to take on the Star Wars? I mean, there would be 1,000,001 companies that want to work with Star Wars, but the likelihood of them being able to get hold of the IP with a massive studio to be able to knock out a AAA game, I really doubt Disney want to be able to give the IP to a indie developer on the basis of it becoming a budget title. It's a long road that I've tried to narrow down to a very small one because I cannot speak today.
I don't really know how to elaborate on it though, but it's a difficult one. Like again, I just don't really exactly know like how much it costs to sort of buy this privilege, if you like.
Well, we've seen earlier on in the week that Sony bought Insomniac Games for £229 million.
Yeah.
And they released obviously Spider-Man for them. So if they was to make another Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man made. I think Spike actually did the math, and it was something like 380 million or something that they made from Spider-Man, basing the game on 30. They sell 12 million copies, and then Spike worked out at £30 a game, taking into consideration all the price drops and things like that that they've had during the time that it's been out. And it made like 380 million, and they bought it for 229. So they made solid profit from that straight away. So if there was to make another game for instance, then it's just pure profit that they're going to be making from it. So it's very interesting to see how this plays out, who gets what, and how much it's going to cost them. Because arguably now the Star Wars, if there was to make a Fallen Order 2 with how well Fallen Order 1's done, you expect them to have to pay a premium for the IP to be able to make another game.
Yeah, true.
Same with Spider-Man as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't obviously be surprised at all to see a Fallen Order 2, because, like you say, it has sold so well. Regardless of like the cost, initially you feel like it's just guaranteed to.
Absolutely.
I suppose that's like anything. Going back to the football analogy, you buy an expensive player, you expect him to sort of effectively make your money back.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like that with those IPs. They're expensive things on the shelf to buy, but you hope that they deliver.
Well, you'd expect licenses like this to be able to. It's a license to print money, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how this plays out. I could see in the corner of my eye as I was reading this that the chat was starting to pop. So I'm just going to go through and have a look while I bring in. Oh, it's right here. Hello. Lazar says, I can't stay for long because I'm currently on my way to pick up Grandma Lazar. Love you all, and remember, stay happy, healthy, and playing is believing. Love you, mate. We need that PUBG Volta Resi alarm, but also need a repeat banter for Big Zombie Monkey just made a joke. Number one pirate already made. Oh god. Asin goes, oh mate, I'm not sure what that's in. Okay, alright. So Jedi Knights had one too many. Asim says someone needs to make Jedi Fallen Over in dreams. Oh my god.
Yes, I agree.
Jedi Fallen Over, the saga continues. One Jedi's fighting against unsteady ground. Oh Jesus Christ! I've been slandered again. Correction: the saga stumbled. Jedi Fallen Over uses Death Stranding engine. You know what? As I said it, I genuinely thought that's the one thing that I think of when I think of Fallen Over. Now, just
exactly.
There was that one video of him carrying like 30 babies in that thing. He falls over and it all just falls off the bridge into the you just see the river just taking all his stuff down. It's quality. I prefer Asim's one. The only Star Wars game I'd be excited for would be a Knights of the Old Republic. Funnily enough, we covered that like 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah,
Making
exactly. I mean, I agree completely on that one because I am big on Knights of the Old Republic, both of those games. So yes, would love to see another.
Manny, good morning, pal. How's it going? You're just coming in to see me stumble all over the place with my words because I'm very bad with them. Spike says 13 million copies. I think that's what I said, but if it didn't, Spike knows the shit. He worked it out for us anyway, which I appreciate. Pirate says, is there going to be another Become a Legend episode soon? That is absolutely bangers. If that is literally like one of the things that me and Graham religiously watch in the office, your Become a Legend series. As soon as you see it go, we're like, bang, let's get on that. It's world class. Magic says Star Wars and Disney. I've never... Right, where's the time out? I've never heard so much shit in here before in my life. Pirate says, I haven't enjoyed a Star Wars game in a long time. Mate, you clearly didn't play the Fortnite live event, do you know what I mean? We had a lot of fun with that. That's literally the reason why I got back into Fortnite again. Graham says Jedi falling over the fight against Darth Maul. Okay. Fatman Dave says bottom line that's because Yoda said so. Exactly, mate. Baby Yoda. I got Samantha. Did you see the card that I got for Samantha?
Yeah. No, I don't think I see the card. Last Baby Yoda thing I saw from you was a shirt. I think. I don't
see. I'm going to show you. I don't know if I can actually get it up.
Wait. It's Valentine's Day, folks, and he can't get it up.
Fuck's sake. I don't know why I do this to myself all the time. I don't know why I do this to myself, but she tagged us in it. So I'll try and get it up on the screen.
That's
Yoda one for me.
Oh dear.
Well, let's see if I can. I know this is completely off topic, but we've only got 2 stories left, and we've been going less than an hour so far. So let's see if I can try and get this up. Instagram. I'm literally just going to be showing off Samantha's profile here, but what is her name on it?
Just don't accidentally go any private Instagram, alright?
Oh, my OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this shows. Here we go. This is cracking content. Boom. So the one on the left, the Yoda one, is obviously what I bought Samantha.
The Yoda best as well.
Yeah, Yoda one for me. Happy Valentine's Day, Samantha. Yoda best. It doesn't get much better than that.
Exactly.
And then Samantha got me a Gavin and Stacey card. If anyone watched the Christmas episode, I won't lie, you're not everyone's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, when all's said and done, you're tidy. I loved you. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. That's just solid banter that you get from being in the Bibby household.
What I will say though is I don't think it's Baby Yoda. I think it's just Yoda.
Do you know what? I actually thought that because he hasn't got the eyes, has it? I mean, it could be.
He's got a little cloak thing going on. I can't remember what Baby Yoda wears.
It is like a cloak, but I'm sure it's like it goes round his neck rather than it being a robe.
Yeah, and I don't know. At the end of the day, we have to remember that Baby Yoda isn't called Baby Yoda, really. So it depends, like whether that's an official endorsed sort of card or not. Well, wouldn't allow that, you know.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
He's Moonpig, you know what I mean? They don't give a shit. They're just printing any old crap on the front of cards. But yes, that is our great banter that we have in the Bibby household.
Top bants.
Top banter,
it really is.
Manny says there's potentially one today, so we're going to look forward to that. Can't get it up. Bibby falling over. Oh god, way Bibby, here we go. And Fortnite Star Wars game was Fortnite and not really Star Wars. And Fortnite Star Wars game was Fortnite and not really. No, it wasn't. It was a live event. They do it all the time, don't they? Yeah. They've got a Birds of Prey one in there at the moment that you can get Harley Quinn skins. And I keep on looking into that camera when it's clearly that one there. Real love. Big Zombie Movie says, I got one for the missus that said, you had me at I hate people. Oh. That Danielle 1701 looks tired of context. She liked the Insta post. Oh right, I'm about to say it's like calling people out in the chat. I mean, I know it's your wife, but you know what I mean. For people who may be listening to this on podcast services and reading that comment, it just makes you look super pervy. It was still Fortnite. It is still Fortnite, but that Fortnite for that period of time. Like, I can't remember the last time I stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning playing a video game. Me and Graham spent far too much time playing that game. Yeah,
I know you did. Like, it was over Christmas period, wasn't it? And you're like sort of WhatsApping, like, you know, on it. And then when you were saying afterwards, you stayed up until like 5 in the morning or something playing it. Yeah. This is the dedication that you can expect from video game podcaster.
Well,
maybe
they say, including Graham, that I only play shit video games. So I mean, if I'm putting that amount of hours into a video game, clearly it must be shit. Then again, you linked me to that Nier Automata the other day, didn't you? And it's not quite shit enough for me to be able to play.
That's true, you did say that. Yeah.
But anyway, we've got 2 news articles left for the day. Do you want to take this one?
I will. Absolutely.
A little bit of context. We have given a lot of shit to this company and a lot of shit to this particular device. However, we're in the interest of fairness and balance, considering we said that we backed it, we've got it, it is the future. We feel obliged to be able to put something positive in there, albeit it's only a slight positive.
Okay, I'm looking forward to. I'll try and emphasise the positives as I read it. Okay, this is from GameSpot. By Eddie Makuch. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. Google Stadia adding 5 more games, including Panzer Dragoon Remake. More titles are on the way to Google's streaming platform. The Stadia library will be expanding soon. Google has confirmed 5 more titles will be added to the game streaming service in the coming months, 3 of which will be arriving on Stadia as timed exclusives. First are Lost Words Beyond the Page, Spitlings, and Stacks on Stacks. Open bracket on stacks, close brackets, which will be coming to Stadia this spring and summer. While no release dates have been announced, all 3 titles will be released on Google's service before they appear on other platforms. Lost Words is described as a narrative-driven, atmospheric puzzler set inside the pages of a young girl's diary. The story was written by Tomb Raider writer Rhianna Pratchett, and the gameplay involves puzzle solving and platforming throughout a variety of unique and imaginative worlds. Stacks on Stacks, meanwhile, is a 3D tower builder in which players try to build up a tower out of falling blocks and defend it against ghosts, giant babies, and other enemies, as you do. At the end of each level, players can knock down their towers with a wrecking ball, which sounds pretty great. Finally, Spitlings is an arcadey multiplayer game with a unique twist. You control a character called a Spitling that has teeth. It can spit or use to jump. Weird, I know. The twist here is that when one player fails, the game restarts. In addition to those titles, Google has confirmed the Panzer Dragoon Remake and Serious Sam collection will be coming to Stadia. The company hasn't announced when these titles will hit the service, but they're likewise slated to arrive sometime in the coming months. You can read more about the upcoming games on the Stadia blog. The announcement of these titles comes after more than 50 days without a new game announcement. Oh, sounding all negative all of a sudden. Google has previously said that there are 120 games coming to the platform in 2020, including some major titles like Marvel's Avengers, Cyberpunk 2077, Doom Eternal, Watch Dogs Legion, Baldur's Gate 3, and Destroy All Humans. A free version of the service called Stadia Base is also slated to launch later this year. Okay.
Speaking of getting slated, what the frig are these 3 games that are bringing us, mate? They sound like £2 games if ever I'd heard of them.
Yes, they do. And let's hope they are going for £2. Well, yeah, let's hope they are going for £2. I keep I paused then because I was thinking, oh wait, no, it's a subscription service. You need to pay for these games. Oh wait, yeah, you do. Sorry, I'm going negative again.
Fair enough. They are bringing Panzer Dragoon and Serious Sam collection to the Nintendo Switch, coming to Stadia.
Yeah.
2 used to be massive IPs. I don't think they've kind of got the oomph that they used to have, and it's quite a coup to be able to get them onto the system. But announcing these 3 games more than 50 days without a new game announcement.
Yeah,
it's a bit poor form, and you need to come back with a bang. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what have you got for us?
They should be also ran sort of games, not like big hitters.
Start with the big one and say they will also be bringing stacks on stacks on stacks.
Exactly. And no disrespect to these games. I'm sure they could be good, but it's just that they're not big AAA or even AA or whatever the next one down will be, triple B titles. They're obviously small time sort of games that are probably like pick up and play, decent fun for a little bit sort of games.
Yeah. I mean, the way that the games have been written there, it makes me think that they are aimed at a particular audience, which is very casual. And
they're proper wacky as well, aren't they? Like some of the descriptions for a couple of them, like one about sort of enemies being giant babies and using like splitting teeth or something. And another one, and just like very like wacky, typical indie sort of. We don't have the pressure of sort of sticking to sort of narrow expectations. We can go wacky because we can do it, but people that do that, it's because they're not expecting to make huge amounts of money, and they don't have to go for the safe blockbuster option.
The only thing that's missing out of that is a brick breaker game, innit? It seems like that would finish off the 4 games that are coming out. Would be a brick breaker one. They've got a tower builder game, not a tower defense game. An arcade multiplayer game with a unique twist. Control a character that when it fails, the game restarts, and then a narrative-driven atmospheric puzzler.
Yeah, I feel like some of them, surely the stacks on stacks, are probably trying to take advantage of the mobile element of Stadia, maybe, and little things to play on the train or whatever.
Well, the big question is will this make you go out and buy a Stadia with these 3 game announcements?
No.
Okay, well. I have seen the chat giving me a lot of shit because something that's been posted on Twitter, which I have now found. Are you aware that this was taking place?
No, I don't know what you're on about at the moment. Are
you being serious? Did you not know this was happening?
No, I don't know what you're talking about at all. Hang on, let's have a look.
So scroll down a little bit.
Oh, right, it's just a clip.
We're tweeting this while Bibby hosts the scoop so that he doesn't see the photo we've used before we post. Which of the 2 Valentines cards will you be sending your Valentines today? You're the flake to my 99. And then, you're the only topping I need.
Amazing.
For fuck's sake.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like if you're after like a Valentine's Day card, basically, you realised it's Valentine's Day. You've tuned into the show and you just think, oh, feck, it's Valentine's Day. You need to get a card. We've saved you there. As long as you've got a working printer, just print them off.
Do you know? I mean, if you needed a face as your advertisement, then feel free. I've got 1,000,001 different pictures like this.
It's true.
Preferably with a shirt that fits, because this one was 2 sizes too big, so you can actually see my tits. You can see the outline of my tits. It's all dangling down my arms and that. I've got 1,000,001 good-looking ones. Do you know what I mean? I'm a good-looking lad. I've got pictures on pictures. Everybody likes the 99. Exactly. Well, they're not 99p anymore, though. That's the thing. They're not 99p. They're about £1.80.
Yeah. Misleading, innit?
Anyway, I've just given away the last article there. So that's something to look forward to.
All right, yeah.
Luke, if you was to choose a game for Game of the Year, what would your Game of the Year be?
Oh, obviously Untitled Goose Game, without a doubt, although I've never actually played it. But I just have this hunch, I just have this feeling that maybe that would be the game.
Okay. I'm just have a quick look through the chat to see if anyone actually said anything that didn't reference my shitty face. When you look at the ICU Twitter, yeah, it's all done. Oh, whilst xCloud's making a big stride forward this week, Google stayed here.
Nice.
Big Spunky Monkey says, "Whoa, 5 games! Let me see my wallet. Let me get my wallet out for Google stay." Nah, couldn't finish that without laughing. Well, I'm sold, says Dave. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of killing itself at this point. And then Next Gen Renegade says moonbib.com. Graham's congratulating with GG's. It's all fun and games until someone shits himself. Anyway, you said that Untitled Goose Game is your Game of the Year.
I mean, okay, yeah, I've never played it before, but referencing back to what we sort of alluded to a little bit, maybe about half an hour or so ago.
Yeah.
Before the stream started, we briefly talked about this, and I was like, oh, looks like a good game, Goose Game, Untitled Goose Game. I really want to play it. I want to try it out. I've seen it's been streamed a little bit, so it looked quite good. Bibby was saying something like, "I've never seen such a shite game in all my years," or whatever.
I only actually play shit games, and this didn't even come into mind as a game that I would want to play. So that says that.
Yeah.
Is it good? I mean, is that what it says? Because they only stream shit games.
Well, maybe. I mean. Yeah, it's confusing. You should, by all accounts, like this game, but then again, it has won an award, so that must mean, yeah, it's good. So, let us know, chat, if you've played this game. I think actually Jess played this a little bit on stream.
She did. She did stream this when it came out. By all accounts, I think that she did actually really like the game.
Yeah.
But
I think it will definitely require a certain type of person to play this. If you're sort of someone who's into either super realistic games or shooters or I don't know, punching people up in violent ways or horror-based games, it's not going to be for you. It's got a tweeness that you either will like or you won't.
Can you define tweefy? Because I see that word a lot and I have absolutely no idea what it means.
Right. Twee is sort of like, Oh crap! It's a really difficult word to describe, actually. Kooky, sort of like it kind of cutesy to an extent in an almost sickly way. I can't really describe it. Someone else is going to have to like post the script, like the definition or something, because I don't know. But I know what it means, but I can't describe it. Why? What?
I don't know. I'm not trying to catch you out. I just put it in a sentence.
Yeah.
So I can try and get my head around it.
It's a game that's like a bit cutesy.
Okay.
that's a bit like
what's
right tweet right. Imagine someone like playing the ukulele, singing like a happy sort of song. Like that's twee. It's not like it's like the opposite of twee would be something like GTA or like a really sort of gritty sort of hardcore kind of game. It's like a kind of like a happy, colourful thing. Here we are.
Okay, you can read that.
Adjective, British adjective. Twee. Comparative adjective. Twee. Is that a genuine thing?
That's what I mean.
Excessively or affectedly quaint, pretty or sentimental. Yeah, the film's a bit twee, it's watchable. I don't know if that's helped you or not, to be honest. But yeah, quaint, pretty or sentimental.
Right, if you're saying that it's kind of quaint, then I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a shit word, isn't it? It's a shit word.
Well, I find it quite useful because it's like there's so few other words to sort of match it. But yeah, I don't know. You're not the first person in like jelly media / ice cream to ask what twee meant, because it's Bridie actually. Everyone called her twee. She was a twee person. We used to say, and she liked twee things, but she didn't understand what that meant, so she'd just get frustrated all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's. I think
Big Bum says, "I never heard of the word twee, but it just sounds like someone who can't remember how to say 2.5. Twee.
All right, so maybe it's like a less known word than I thought, because yeah, clearly quite a lot of people.
I see it on Twitter quite a lot.
Yeah.
But now you've said what it is, I can fully picture the kind of character that would be that kind of person.
Yeah.
The first person that comes to mind is Bridie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
And like,
Okay.
I think Jess quite likes those kind of games. Like, sort of Stardew Valley is quite twee in its own way, I suppose.
Now you see, now you've said something like that, I understand what it is.
Yeah.
But when you see tweets,
Almost like wholesome to an extent.
Yeah. Okay. Get it. I get it. Connor says, "Hey, baby, for fuck's sake, that's you innit? You posting shit." Dad Lad Gaming, morning chaps, morning pal. Hope you're doing all right. You're just catching us as we finish our last article of the day. Luke is very kindly just about to read it out for us.
All right.
Well, it's your game of the year, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I just realised we've sort of in a way talked about this like 10 minutes without actually reading.
What the rest of the article
says.
says.
No, exactly. Right. Well, I will rectify that now, unless we still need some chat reading to do.
No, there's no tweets.
Right, okay. So this is on GameIndustry.biz, written by Matthew. Handrahan. Untitled Goose Game wins Game of the Year at DICE Awards 2020. House received 3 awards, while Remedy Entertainment won 4 for Control. House won Game of the Year at the 23rd Annual DICE Awards, one of 3 honours given to the Australian independent developer last night. Untitled Goose Game was named Game of the Year ahead of Remedy Entertainment's Control, Kojima Productions' Death Stranding, Mobius Digital's Outer Wilds, and ZA or ZA or ZA / Disco Asylum.
Elysium,
even. That would make more sense. The win is particularly notable for the size of the studio behind it. House is a small independent developer, and it received an honour typically dominated by AAA productions. The last 5 winners of Game of the Year are God of War, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Overwatch, Fallout 4 and Dragon Age Inquisition. The last time Game of the Year was won by a studio of comparable size was the game company's Journey in 2012. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences AS. I'm just going to call them that. Also awarded House with Outstanding Achievement for an Independent Game and Outstanding Achievement in Character for the game's titular Goose. However, the biggest winner in terms of awards was Remedy Entertainment, which received 4 honours for Control, Action Game of the Year, Game Direction, Art Direction, and Music Composition. The only other game to win multiple awards was Kojima Productions' Death Stranding, which was honoured for technical achievement and audio design. Connie Booth, Vice President of Product Development at Sony Interactive Entertainment America, was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Booth has worked at PlayStation for more than 21 years. And there's just a lot of sort of games that we could maybe go through, but not
I'll quickly run through them. For the purposes of those that are in the chat that can see the games of the year and all the awards that was put out last night, you feel free to obviously read them yourself and digest what you want. Take the piss out of the ones that you don't think are worthy of the winners. However, for those of you that are listening to this on audio podcast, strap yourselves in, get yourself a drink, because we're about to get down. So, Game of the Year, Untitled Goose Game. Action Game of the Year, Control. Adventure Game of the Year, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Over. Family Game of the Year, Super Mario Maker 2. Fighting Game of the Year, Mortal Kombat 11. Racing Game of the Year, Mario Kart Tour. Is that the one that's on the mobile?
Yeah, I think it
For fuck's sake. Role-playing Game of the Year, The Outer Worlds. Fantastic. Sports Game of the Year. Whew. FIFA 20, come on down. Strategy Simulation Game of the Year, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Virtual Reality Technical Achievement, Blood and Truth. Immersive Reality Game of the Year, Pistol Whip, never heard of that. Outstanding Achievement in an Independent Game, Untitled Goose Game. Portable Game of the Year, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Online Game of the Year, Apex Legend. Outstanding Achievement in Game Design, Baba Is You. Outstanding Achievement in Game Direction, Control. Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Luigi's Mansion 3. GG's. Outstanding Achievement in Art Design, Control. Outstanding Achievement in Character, Untitled Goose Game, The Goose. Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition, Control. Outstanding Achievement in Audio Design, Death Stranding. Outstanding Achievement in Story, Disco Elysium. And finally, Outstanding Technical Achievement is Death Stranding. So, first of all, Mario Kart Tour, what the fuck? Was there just no racing games came out last year?
Clearly. I mean, this isn't a diss on like it being a mobile game per se, because we've had talk about it before, haven't we, on this show, and we don't like the controls. I don't know whether you've tried it recently, but
I have. It's still shit.
It's still shite. Yeah. It's like you can't even turn properly. You just have to do this sort of like slide thing, right? Automatically, you can't like do a normal turn.
Well, there's two ways to do it. You can either keep your thumb on it and move left and right, so you constantly got your thumb on the screen, or the car will automatically move, and you can just tap the screen where you want the car to go.
Right.
So if you double tap it, your car would jump and then slide into that. It's still both shitty designs. Like, is it Asphalt? I'm sure that's like the big mobile racing game that's out. Okay. You can tilt your phone left and right. I think that would work better.
Yeah, I think it would, to be honest. Yeah,
and you have to use your phone in portrait mode, which I understand with your thumb that would probably be a lot better. But surely seeing all of the track like you would on the normal one, you'd use your phone. But yeah, I don't understand it. How it's won Racing Game of the Year is literally beyond me. There must have been. I'm sure Grid came out last year. How could that not have at least been nominated for something?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a F1 game every year as well, and that kind of.
But probably one of the worst mobile racing games. It's generally because it's a Mario game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was excited for the Mario Kart game to come to mobile.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's the worst version of the game it could have potentially ever been, in my honest opinion.
I think so. I agree. I don't know how they got it so wrong, in my opinion. Like, they could have literally just had, like you say, either motion controls would have actually worked better, just a D-pad on the screen probably would have worked better. So very, very bizarre. But
yeah,
I do agree with quite a few of these though. Like Luigi's Mansion 3, outstanding achievement in animation. Yeah, good one. Agreed
with that one. Gaz made a very good point. Crash Team Racing was a miles better game, and that came out last year.
Right, yeah.
How the fuck did we not even think about that one?
Yeah.
Dan Lad Gaming says, am I right in saying the ICUs tonight? No, we have the Ice Cream Uploads group draw will be happening around, hopefully about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Stay tuned with the Ice Cream Uploads socials to be able to find out when it is that we're going to turn the cameras back on again. Let me bring the big camera back in again. the cameras will be back on again this afternoon, but I'm not sure what time, so hopefully it'll be around about 2 o'clock, but obviously keep an eye out on the Twitter for when that's going to be for the group draw. The actual show, the Ice Cream Invitational, actually happens on the 28th of February, so it's 2 weeks today, if my calculation is correct, which I think is about right.
Yeah.
Big Zombie Monk says, Mario Kart Tour, get foot. I agree. Jedi Fallen Over is better than Jedi Fallen. I think that's definitely what... I mean, I don't even notice, but I've been playing on the joke the entire time now, but I do think that we need to put something forward, say that is the only thing that we're going to call it from now on.
Exactly.
Grid came out, it is much better game. Why is it that keeps on winning? Anyway, Crash Team Racing was better. You know what would work best? Playing it on a console like the Switch. If there was only a Mario Kart game on console. Yeah, I mean, we obviously all have a very small beef with mobile games purely because we are console. The people who are in this chat now, who are watching this live with us, and potentially people who listen to this, probably aren't the biggest mobile gamers. We are not the target audience, I do not think, when it comes to mobile games, because we are not casual enough. And I say that in air quotes. If it was a very good mobile game, like I have the ability to be able to play Fortnite wherever I go because I can play it on my Nintendo Switch. I've got Fortnite on my phone. Have I played it once?
Sure.
If that.
Yeah. I mean, they're very popular for sure. Mobile, like PUBG Mobile and all those kind of things, like massive, aren't they? Actually, and like it surprises me whenever I see the numbers. You know. But I think that like the demographic, sort of the target audience is a little bit different for sure. Yeah.
Well, I think that the status quo is trying to be changed with the likes of xCloud, Google Stadia, and Nvidia GeForce, all attempting to bring AAA games to be able to play on your mobile. That's the future that I want to be in, rather than playing a very stripped down. We've seen it yesterday. Forza are bringing out a mobile game. Is it going to be anywhere close to a Forza game? Absolutely not. It's going to be a very stripped down, potentially just online racer. Like, they're not going to have any story mode or anything like that. We don't know much about it yet, but as a mobile game, I can't imagine it being anywhere close to the AAA title that they released on console.
Oh no, I mean it's kind of obvious, really, isn't it? I mean, they can't, it's just like a technical sort of limitations. Even just no one wants to download an app that's like 50 gigabytes either, or any of that side of things. And
which again is absolutely understandable. I would want to be able to have that kind of experience. If I can stream it from a console at home, then fair enough. I've got the ability to be able to do that. I can hit somebody's cloud server somewhere to be able to play a AAA game on the go, which is the goal for me going forward in the future. I've got a Nintendo Switch now, which is by far my favourite console, taking the PC out of that. It's not a console, but I don't play my PlayStation that often anymore. No. I'll switch on occasionally to be able to play a game of PES against somebody. I don't even play online most of the time now. If I want to play Master League, I play it on my PC. I'm playing Fallen Order on my PlayStation now because that's what I've been lent it on.
But I'm more PC. I still play Battlefront 2 at the moment on PS4. I think that's the only thing I really switch my PS4 on at the moment. So
But can you see yourself adopting this streaming service on the go potentially?
A long way off if I do. I mean, not anytime soon. No.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's middle of the ground now. You're either absolutely in it to win it, ish, or you're just not interested and completely turned off by the idea that you want to be able to play this. And I do not for a second doubt anybody who says that they're not interested in this going forward. I do feel like your mind will be changed in about 5 years' time when the technology is not... I don't want to say there as in like it's at the top of its game. I just feel like it's going to take long enough for the infrastructure, the phones to be able to keep up with this kind of thing. And
it just has to get good enough to be
on
par, really. And then it is the obvious choice because like it is more convenient. You don't have to sort of buy these sort of physical objects.
To be able to take my tablet and a controller of my choice abroad with me if I'm away on business or I'm going on a holiday with my wife or I'm going away with the family, wherever that may be, and I can just take my tablet and I can take a controller of my choice and be able to play any of my games, which is a stupidly large Jesus Christ, a stupidly large bank of games across Epic Games Store, Steam, Xbox Games Pass for what I sign up to that, and have all of that out in one place, then I think I'd be stupid to not want to take that up as a gamer.
Yeah.
But having 1,000,001 games on a marketplace now, i.e. Google Play and iTunes, just does not interest me because, one, the watered down versions of a game that I may like, and two, it doesn't scratch the itch. Most of the time you need to be online to be able to play them as well. That's the thing that pisses me off. If I find a really good game that isn't even an online game, I still have to have the digital handshake to be able to play them. Like you can't play you can't play PES Mobile on a plane. It does not let you because you need the digital handshake. Even if you wanted to play against a computer, you can't do that.
Yeah, that is irritating.
It's dumb. So I think we're a long way off.
Yeah, I guess if it's the way that a lot of games, non-streaming games, are at the moment, then I suppose it's almost like it's preparing us for that inevitability of having to be online to play something. But
Danlad Games says technical audio should be 100%. Have been Hunt Showdown, never heard anything like it. I haven't actually played that, but they had a massive bank, a booth at Gamescom this year. I really should have gone in and played it, but I didn't. Grid came out as good. I completely missed that one. Bibi, are there any teams you would love to see play each other in the ICU Invitational? I'm going to refrain from saying anything because if I do say something and they get drawn against each other in the group, it will 110% look like I've rigged it. Like I supposedly rigged it for the first inaugural tournament where I ended up with Man City. You know what I mean? There's video evidence of me not doing that. But it got shouted against me quite a lot. So, I mean, all the teams that are in there now are all potentially good matchups. So that's all I'm saying on that so far. Madge says, good mobile game like Raid Shadow Legends, and then the Kappa face. Something tells me he doesn't like that game. Gaz says, FIFA 21 best sports game, does that mean it's the best of a mass broken sports games to come out? It's interesting that the games that are incredibly popular, like Madden and MLB, The Show, and things like that, never seem to get the nod.
No, they don't. Maybe as, obviously like Madden stuff being mainly popular in America, maybe that isn't enough as a bigger country as America is. Are these awards American? Like, are they based in America?
I'm not sure.
But yeah, you never get like a Madden game winning best game of the year. Sports game of the year.
The DICE Awards 100% was in America, and so was the Video Game Awards as well. In fact, I think all the major video game awards potentially are the ones that we see and hear of anyway are all in America. There'll obviously be ones in like Japan and things like that that'll cover that side of the world. I imagine that we probably won't hear that much from.
Maybe they're almost like too scared to sort of make a Madden game of the year, even if it's good, because it will seem too favoritist, sort of, because it's like so American based. I don't know.
I don't know if that makes Ultimate, because they've got Ultimate Team on it, but I don't know whether or not it makes as much money as FIFA does. Now, I'm not saying that the money is the determining factor on it winning game of the year. No. I just think because of the pot draw of packing packs is such a watchable thing on YouTube. I never see Madden on there because I'm not interested in American football. Do you know what I mean? So it wouldn't come up as an interesting thing to watch. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into that too much. It's one that bribes the panel the most, says Madge. Big Example says, no, I just don't like the phone size screens for gaming. Even the Switch feels a little too small for my liking. You see, I'm completely used to the Switch now. Like, even when I got it, I didn't think that the screen was small enough. Now, I have played games on my phone before. Now, I've played emulators and things like that. And for me, playing a game, I'm not asked if the screens were... You should see what we unboxed last week. It's one of the smallest screens I've ever seen in my life. It was like a... We've still got it over there. It was that little small Sony Triton surveillance screen, shall we call it. But the screen size has never really bothered me on games.
It has on some games. Super Smash Bros. Really difficult to play on the Switch, sort of small screen, because it is on the big screen anyway. There's so much going on so often. But that just gets sort of amplified a little bit on the small screen. But on the whole, pretty much most of the games happy to play on the small screen, I'd say.
The only game that I've ever struggled to play, this is going to show the nerdiest side of me ever, is the Pokemon trading card game. Right. Because you can't read the cards. So I played it on one of my older tablets, so that when you zoom in to see this card, it's not that legible. Yeah. Which is a little bit annoying when you're playing with a deck that you've never played with before. Yeah. So you're not really sure what the Pokemon's moves are and how much they cost. But even playing Skyrim on my Switch, I don't have any trouble playing that whatsoever, and that's text heavy. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at
True, yeah.
All stuff.
True.
I would have given NBA 2K20 best sports game this year. You see, I would probably agree with that, even though I haven't played it, based on the fact that it hasn't. 2K, for as long as I can remember, NBA 2K has always had a phenomenal career mode. Like, the storyline is always on point. The playground is one of the best game modes that I've ever seen. Again, I've never played in it, but I understand that you can play 3v3 against your mates in a park situation, very much like FIFA Volta, in that sense. However, I think this year was the biggest hoorah that they've had with loot boxes in NBA 2K, because wasn't there a one-armed bandit in there? So like you could put real money into virtual currency to be able to put into a one-armed bandit. You go 7-7-7 and you'd win a new ball or something like that.
Nothing about it, to be honest, but yeah, I've not heard about it.
Interesting. So Daniel's Game says game's not the best, but the order was phenomenal. Okay, some questions to Luke.
Same question to Luke. What did he ask? I can't remember.
I'll scroll back up.
Are there
any teams that you'd like to play against each other in the IC Invitational?
Okay.
Considering you're playing it. In fact, let's switch that round. Who would you want to avoid? Because that'll give you the answer to both.
True. I would like to avoid. You see, I think Pezstep would be quite dangerous to go against just because of the sheer amount of time he plays it. But I suppose you could say the same with all of them. Thinking about it. So I would still quite like to avoid him. I would like to avoid Pirate actually, because he's good. And
the two people that he's got playing with him as well are phenomenal players.
Ex-pro, really. So I know we're not like doing pros in this, but he's sort of like an ex-pro.
Well, technically at the moment, mate, he's not being paid. So
well, yeah, exactly. So
that's the only way that I've been able to differentiate the pros and the not, because there's a lot of people that have been playing PES League for a long time, got to regional events, but for some unknown reason they may not have been selected to play in the eFootball Pro. So basically we're giving you guys the chance to be able to do that. Madge says packs coming to Stadia soon, the sequel to Stacks. Big Zombie Monkey says smiles slightly. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today's show and for the week. We have had a very busy week in terms of the stories and the shows that we've managed to cover.
It's been a busy one. Nothing else to say, really. I can't think of anything else.
I feel very fatigued at this point. I don't think I've been sleeping all right.
I'm just always fatigued, which is my excuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know. Obviously, is always sort of if you get any new news stories or things you'd like us to talk about, just fire it over on Twitter or whatever it might be, and also let us know what you're playing at the moment, because that's always interesting to know.
It is always interesting because obviously we've got such a diverse community of people that join us in here. There's people who don't play online but they play story-driven games, which again always excites me, because as a man who likes to play story-driven games, there's a lot of games out there that I haven't played. Because I either think that the shit, and then someone plays them and say, actually, it's really not, here's the narrative, and then she completely changes my mind.
Yeah.
But yes, as we was going to move on to the end of the show, this is Ice Cream Uploads. It's the UK's #1 video game podcast, as said by the people in the chat, which they've never said. And it's only us that say that because we want people to think that it's the UK's #1. So if we say it so many times, put it in the title, eventually it gets stuck into people's heads. You know what I mean?
It becomes people just believe what they want to believe.
Exactly. You know? So we're just kind of brainwashing you guys into thinking that it actually is, which it is. But yes, again, this is The Scoop. We go live every single day at 10 a.m. over on our Twitch channel, which is /Ice Cream Uploads, obviously on Twitch, because we are Twitch partners. You go live later on in the day, usually about an hour later, on YouTube. And then on our podcast services, which we mentioned earlier on. But Luke, would you like to remind people what podcast services are?
I would. They are on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and which one have I not said?
The big one.
Oh, what? I said SoundCloud, right?
Did you?
Oh, SoundCloud. I don't know. I might not have said SoundCloud. Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play.
There we go. That's all.
Oh no, I was trying to count 5. That's what it was. So there is no fifth
I mean, we'll put it on MySpace if there's a demand over there, then we'll put it back on MySpace. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Let us know.
But yes, this will be live later on in the day, around about 2 or 3 o'clock. But before then, do not forget it is Friday. So if you are listening to this late, the event's already been and gone. Feel free to go back onto Twitch and YouTube to be able to watch the live draw. But it is the live draw of the Ice Cream Uploads Invitational 3 Triple Threat, which we find out who this man and the rest of his team will be facing in the Triple Threat. That will be live around about, I hope, 2 o'clock. But again, Pirate has very kindly put the social channels into the chat for you to be able to go over there and follow to find out exactly when it is that we'll be going live. Hopefully I'll be able to give you around about 30 minutes notice before that is the case. I keep on saying hopefully, but this isn't, as much as it is our day job to be able to do it in the mornings, it isn't our full-time day job, so we have other things that we need to be doing as well. So Absolutely. We will give you as much notice as we can, but do feel free to join us hopefully around about 2 o'clock to determine who will be facing who in the group stages of the Ice Cream Uploads Invitational 3. 2 o'clock, hopefully. Follow us on Twitter to be able to find out more. But until Monday, for the scoop anyway, what have they got to do, Luke?
Stay frosty.
Sayonara, guys.